مرحبا شو في ما في. Welcome to Qasid's Survival Arabic series. In this video, you'll be learning basic expressions you will need in giving directions, asking for directions, and simply taking a cab. We're also going to be covering some cultural rules of thumb, things really important that you need to keep in mind, and of course, as usual, we'll be ending up with a dialogue. So when you, let's say, take a cab, of course, the first thing you want to tell your driver is where you're heading to. So you can just simply start with the name of the area, and then لو سمحت, which is please, or if you may. So let's say I want to go to Mukhtar Mall, that is a mall near Qasid. You would say Mukhtar Mall لو سمحت. If you know the name of the street, you can do the same with لو سمحت phrase. So once you're riding the taxi, you want to make sure that the meter is on, because sometimes, drivers just forget to turn it on. Sometimes it's just broken or running from a previous trip. So you can say العداد شغال. العداد is meter, شغال is on or working. العداد شغال. So you can just simply ask that. Now, let's say, for example, you're not sure if you have enough change or if you just don't have change at all. You can always ask your driver before you start the trip if he has change. Sometimes even if they don't have change, they can help you find some, just stopping at a supermarket or a gas station. So the word for change is فكي. To ask for change, or do you have change, معك فكي. معك فكي. And again, they can just give you change or help you find some. Now, you're just trying to direct your taxi, you know where you're going, and maybe you want to say, please keep straight. So you simply say, دغري. دغري. If you want to go right, you say, يمين. If you want to go left, you say, شمال, or يسار. دغري, يمين, شمال, or يسار. Now, let's say that you are in an area, you know where you're going, but you're not sure which way to go. You can simply stop, someone and say, وين, the name of the place you want to go to. We've used this question before, which is where. So let's say you're in the Sport City area, this is where Qasid is. You're not sure where to go. You can simply ask someone, وين قاصد لو سمحت? وين قاصد? Or وين مختار مول? Simply. And people would direct you. Of course, when you come here, you learn more phrases and words to help you comprehend directions, but these are really basic ones to have for now. You've reached your destination and you want your taxi driver to know that this is, where you want to stop. So there are so many different phrases for that. Later on in video 6, you'll be learning a fancy expression to use. But for now, you can just say هون لو سمحت. هون is here, لو سمحت is please, or عندك لو سمحت. عند is like at, so like here, I want to stop here. So هون لو سمحت, or عندك لو سمحت. Something important to keep in mind is that usually, actually always, men and amman take the front seat, the one next to the driver, and women take the back seat. So if you're a female student, make sure you take the back seat. And if you're a male student, make sure that you sit next to the driver. That's really important to keep in mind. Taxi drivers are really interesting people. I'm sure you're gonna go home with very interesting stories to share with family and friends. They get to be talkative a lot of times. They love to share, about their stories, what they do, their family, how hard it is nowadays, economically speaking. And sometimes they tend to ask you, so many different personal questions. Now, we highly recommend that you don't respond to all these personal questions. I mean, you can just, answer like, oh, what your name is, and maybe your age is, you're studying Arabic, you're enjoying it here, that's fine. But too personal stuff like, oh, so what are you doing here? Where do you live in Amman? And whom do you live with? And things like that. We just don't, like you to share this type of information. Sometimes some taxi drivers would either ask you for your phone number or offer you their phone number for, future type of rides you might have. We also recommend that you don't do so. Now, what if the meter is broken or it's not working, or for some reason you feel the driver doesn't want to turn it on? Simply don't ride with that person. Just leave the taxi and go for something else. Because sometimes, taxi drivers tend to make, a longer trip, maybe take more money out of you. This is why also you need to have a rough idea of how much this trip should cost you. So a 1 JD trip should not, cost you more than 1 JD or approximately a JD and a half, something like that. But if it's 5 JDs, that's really way too much. Now let's get to the dialogue and see how these expressions are used in a daily conversation. على شارع الجامعة لو سمحت عند مختار مول.
ماشي. يمين؟
لا دغري بعدين شمال. هون لو سمحت. قديش العداد؟
دينار.
تفضل. شكراً.